Advantages of marrying young. Disclaimer: this video is not meant to put pressure on anyone. It's never too late to get married. But today I honestly want to talk about advantages of marrying early or young to encourage folks or those who want to get married early and they wonder, is it possible to make it when you get married young? And the word young or early is very relative. It means different things to different people. For me here, I'm talking about marrying between the age of 20 and 25. That's what I'm referring to as marrying young or marrying early. And maybe you're there wondering, can my marriage make it if I marry this young or this early? Yes, you can. I proposed to my Mercy when I was 20. And I married when I was 25. I'm a living testament that people can marry early and still make it. I repeat, this is not meant to put pressure to guys in their 30s, 40s, 50s. No. This is just an encouragement for young people who want to get married and they don't want to start sleeping around and they're wondering, can I make it if I get married early or young? Yes, you can. So let me share with you some 7 advantages of getting married young. Number 1, you trust each other. Again, this does not mean if you get married later, you won't trust each other. No. But I want us to be real. I want us to get real and honest. Let's have an honest, candid conversation. Sometimes when people get married in their late 30s, 40s, 50s, sometimes they are not sure whether this person is marrying them for love or because of their money or a position they have in the corporate world or because of their business. Sometimes when people get married in their 40s and their 50s, they are not sure whether this person is just in a panic mood. They don't want to hit 50 before they get married, or they don't want to hit 40 before they get married. Sometimes there is that being suspicious of each other. So sometimes when you get married early, there is no historical baggage. There's no history to explain. There is a tendency to believe this person loves me for who I am because I don't have the money. Maybe I don't have the PhD. It's not too late for me to get married. I mean, a girl in her 20, 21, 22, she has choices. A man has many choices. Both of them have choices. So they tend to trust each other more. They tend to think this is about love. Number 2, when people get married young, they enjoy intimacy early. You enjoy early intimacy. What do I mean? I know some people who are God-fearing. They don't want to mess up with their sexual purity. But they are seriously struggling. They feel they want to share intimacy, but they don't have a life partner. Some of them end up getting involved in masturbation because they really don't know what to do. They're in a fix. They are stranded. Their body is burning with sexual desires and they are natural. It's not evil to have a sexual desire. It is the way you are created by God. It's the way we were wired. And actually, the Apostle Paul says one major reason for getting married is to avoid sinning sexually. He says, if you can't control your body, get married. So when you get married early, you don't have to restrain your passions. You can express them with your partner. You have somewhere to relieve yourself of those sexual pressures. That's a fact of life. And you have an entire life ahead of you. You have a long and love life when you get married early. You don't have to keep holding back your emotions, your passions. You can express them because you have a life partner. You are not sinning against God. You don't have to hold back what you're feeling. Well, if I bless you, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Will you do that? All right, let's go to number 3. Advantages of getting married early. Number 3, you escape emotional baggage. The longer you stay without getting married, the higher the chances you're going to date other people. And sometimes relationships break. And the more you date more people, the higher the chance of sleeping with them. And every time you sleep with someone, the Bible says you become one flesh with them. You become one flesh with them. You inherit into their emotional baggage. You carry all the emotional liabilities. So when you get married early, before you get too intimate with many people, you bring into the relationship, you come into the relationship fresh, without emotional baggage, without previous relational histories from other people. You bring fresh breath into the relationship. The later you get married, the higher the likelihood you have dealt with too many other people. And if you have slept with many people, the worst thing when you come into marriage, you have tested this guy and this woman and this guy and this woman. You keep on pulling back all these past experiences into your relationship. You have certain expectations because of your experiences with other people that can mess up. If you're not careful, if you don't deal with your past, they can mess up with your intimacy. They can mess up with your marriage. You know, if you had this guy or this woman who took you too high, so you come with that expectation from this guy, and if this person does not hit that level or exceed your expectations, it becomes a problem in your current relationship. So when you get married early, you don't have that baggage to deal. Number 4, when you get married early or young, you adventure life together. You see, if you get married, for example, to a guy who has money in your 40s, he can be intimidating or she can be intimidating. As a guy, if you get married to a woman who is a CEO or doing well in business, she can be very, very intimidating. And the truth of the matter is, if a girl gets married to this guy who is doing well in their career life, sometimes you don't feel like this is your partner. They behave like your boss. They behave like your mentor. You're supposed to be, she is supposed to be your partner. You're supposed to be equal partners in marriage. You have a team leader. The guy is the team leader, but not your boss. So when people get married later in life, men have a tendency of behaving like the boss. If the woman has money, she has a tendency of trying to control the guy and behaving like the boss. So when you get married early, there's no intimidation. You are two kids who can play together. Things that you'll be too shy to do much later in life. I'll never forget when we were newlyweds with Mercy. We would go to the kitchen, cook together 100% naked. There's stuff we could do that people would be too shy to do in their 40s, in their 50s, in their late 30s, because sometimes the body has stretch marks or belly fat or other features that make us uncomfortable being naked in the presence of each other and walking around the house naked. Most people in their early 20s, they can afford to play a lot of fun games, a lot of naughty games at home. And this creates a stronger bond, a stronger connection when people are intimate early. Number 5, you grow together. You didn't have like personal goals. All your goals are similar. You know, you are able to have common goals as a couple, whether it's a house, whether it's career goals, when to go back to school. You can plan your projects together. You tend to develop tastes together. You didn't bring a certain taste per se into the marriage. For example, I was in playing golf when we got married. I was in playing Monopoly when we got married. We started playing Monopoly when we got married. We started playing bowling when we got married. We started developing our hobbies and our interests together. We also began to grow together in terms of our emotional intelligence, anger management, learning to listen to each other, learning to listen to each other's feelings, not just the words. We started growing together in every area of our lives, including spiritually. We began to pray together, to fast together. So you tend to grow together. Sometimes when you get married later, you're not at the same level. Spiritually, career-wise, financially, your appreciation of issues, you tend to have a huge gap. And to bridge the gap sometimes can be difficult. Number 6, when you get married young, you have the energy of raising your children. Trust me, there's some games I used to play with my kids in my 20s. I don't have the energy to play those games with any child right now. I'm in my mid-40s. Trust me, right now, I don't think I'm going to play that game I used to play with Zig and Ivy, like being a horse. They would ride on my back and I would carry them like for a whole hour. I don't have that energy anymore of raising a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old. So when you get married early, you have energy to invest in your kids, to play with them, to go almost at their level and do a lot of games together. And that creates strong bonds with your children. Number seven, when you get married young or early, you have a higher chance of seeing your great-grandchildren. Let's face it, if you get married early, all odds being equal, and your children get married early, you have a higher chance of seeing your grandchildren. If your grandchildren marry early, you have a higher chance of seeing your great-grandchildren. Because if you get married early, you have a smaller generational gap with your own kids. However, there are some disadvantages of getting married early. Well, life has pros and cons. There is a video I did dubbed 7 biggest regrets of people who married young. Check it out. 7 biggest regrets of people who married young. And I have a book that can guide you into marriage and in your marriage, dubbed Sex and Marriage Counseling. You want to touch that book. And please remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel if I'm a blessing to you, and give me a comment about this particular video. Let me know your thoughts. Are you for the idea of marrying early or later in life? What do you think is the best age of getting married? Give me a comment. Let me know your thoughts. Let's exchange our views. There is no right or wrong age to get married. There is no right or wrong age to get married. Let's just share our thoughts. What do you think is the most ideal age of getting married? Thank you so much, and God bless you.